Okay, I want to go over this chart before. I think I did one video on this earlier on Foot Locker here, ticker symbol FL. This has a lot of qualities that I like as far as a short position, and I'll explain what they are here quickly. One, it's been in this consolidation for quite some time now, for 4 or 5 months. And before that, going into December or November, it turned a little bit bearish there, and it's been holding up a little bit, even through the tough times that the market has had, and the good times. This really hasn't done any type of major participation at all. And now that the markets are kind of a little bit top heavy temporarily, this has been slowly breaking down. And this looks like a little bit of a nice little bearish flag on a daily to start here, coming down this consolidation, and it looks like we're gonna break down here. We're gonna go back to I would say to at least try this in January here, right around $60, and then in November you got this 57, and we're at 62.36 now. So we've got a nice couple of point drop potentially. They had an earnings that came out that were fairly decent. The outlook wasn't as good, but and that's why I don't do my trades off of any advice as far as like the news or Jim Cramer, any of the stuff that you hear. Because if you, I mean, just for instance, if you were to listen to Jim Cramer on this stock, he would tell you this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and let me tell you, it's not. So, and the chart's proving it right now. So, you know, there's just a lot of reasons. I mean, you know, it's unfolding to be an unfortunate situation for them here. So we've got the moving averages now just now breaking below and pointing down again, which is off to a really good start. Even today, in the last couple of days, when the market has been strong and oil's been up, you know, since Friday. Man, it was up just 5% today, and this had no participation in the market at all. Matter of fact, this was down over 1% today. And so when the market does get a little top heavy, which it could be now, you know, or maybe the next couple of days here, since we ran pretty hard for a few days, as soon as the market stops running to the upside, that's even going to be more of a catalyst to propel this thing down. And this thing's just waiting for the next shoe to drop. I mean, this is going to be, right now, like I said, today was just the, to give you an idea, the Dow Jones was up 67 points today, and this was down 1%, with the Dow Jones positive. So, you know, you think to yourself, what happens if when the Dow Jones ends up taking a 200 or 300 point down day? This is going to get smoked really hard. So, I really like everything about it on the short side on this play. Like I said, it's setting up really, really nice, and I think we have a nice move. What I want to do is I'm even going to go back further on a weekly just to see where I'm at on a weekly. And I know on a weekly that we really haven't had a really big breakdown on the weekly. But even on the weekly, it sets up to look just as nice, because now on the weekly you have the start of a breakdown of the MACD, and the RSI is heading down, and you have the DMI, which is also heading down. So, but this really sets up nice. As you could see, this stock has been long for a long time. You know, way back here, it's been above the zero line, tested a few times, and it's been just holding up like a champ. And then as we started to have the breakdown towards the end of the year, last year, it started to break down as well, and then tried to get back up there and hold a little bit, and just to no avail. Just really couldn't get positive in any way, even with the good earnings and everything else going. So I think this is setting up right now to have a very, very nice, even on the weekly, this looks good. This looks good to at least, I would say, I want to say between you know, the 60 and the 57 look really, really good. If we get below this 57, it's going to be drawn like a magnet to right around this 200-day moving average, which is going to be pretty close to the down side of all this area here that you see. So I'm going to say somewhere right around between 51 and 52, which is a 10-point move. So we don't know where this is going to go, but right now this is setting up for a beautiful move to the downside. So I think this is definitely worth it. I'm going to go check the options real quick to see what we have. So in April here, it's kind of mixed. You got some few little calls in here, and you've got same thing across the board. A few little puts in here, kind of mixed. And then you go into May, and you've got a lot of bullishness here in May. Doesn't make sense to me at all. Like I say, I don't know. Sometimes sometimes the options will tell the story, and sometimes not. You've got to go with your own judgment on them, and I don't see anything else. I was kind of looking to see if there was any larger side on the puts, but I don't see it. I'm going to see there on March. No, it actually looks like there's a little bit more on the call side of it, and I don't know if those are either way. I don't care too much about what that says at this particular juncture, because the charts are telling me a whole different other story. Sometimes it's nice when you can go into the option market and it definitely agrees with what you see on your charts. Then it's kind of like, wow, sweet, and then you can go ahead and take the trade, and it's a little bit more confidence on it. But for some reason, I don't know what I'm missing here. But either way, I'm going with what I have here, which is all the signals. The breakdown here, this is on the weekly, the breakdown here, and it's getting just smothered in through here, and even with the good earnings report, didn't hold up. So I think this is a really, really nice play to the downside. And even if I'm wrong on this one, which is okay, because you're never going to get them all right. If I'm wrong on this one, then of course I'm going to have a stop put in place above 64, and then lose a little bit on those options, and then wait to try for another opportunity down the road. But I think this is definitely something that you should consider and take a good hard look at, because this one here is telling me a nice story of a breakdown that's setting up that could be a big move to the downside. So watch it, see what you think, and we'll review it later.